Let's start with Bernie's statement on this, and he basically breaks it down and calls it what it is. This is oligarchy. Where is it? Here we go.
Republicans reached an agreement called a continuing resolution, which would continue to fund the government for 3 months. Frankly, that agreement was not something that I was all that excited about, but it was better than nothing. And I was prepared and am prepared to vote for it. And one of the reasons is that it contained a reasonable increase in funding for primary health care, something that I feel very strongly about and that my committee, the Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committee, is responsible for. And given the enormous crises that we're facing in health care in this country today, it really would be of help to many millions of Americans. What this legislation would do is significantly, or modestly at least, increase funding for community health centers all over this country, which treat about 30 million Americans who are low income or working class. And it would also increase the number of young doctors who go out into rural America and also into underserved areas. That is where we need the doctors and the nurses, and that's what this legislation would do. In any case, within the House of Representatives, the Republican House, and the Democratic Senate, there was widespread agreement on this resolution. And it was just about ready to be passed. In fact, the Republicans posted it on their website. We were ready to go.
President Musk.
But then, out of nowhere, the wealthiest man in the world, Elon Musk, began tweeting his opposition to this legislation. In fact,
it's disgusting.
He was very blunt about it. He told Republicans that if they voted for this proposal, which they had already agreed to do, he would take out his wallet and spend as much money as it took to defeat them in primaries and drive them out of office. You got that?
Yep, I do.
Take a deep breath and appreciate what's going on here.
All right, Bernie.
The wealthiest person in the world, who spent at least $277 million to elect Donald Trump in a Republican Congress, has now claimed complete ownership of that party.
And I want to remind you that, money in politics is the root of all this evil. You know, I wonder if the politician pets that Elon Musk bought, I wonder if they will get tired of being, treated like pets by this filthy sociopath. I mean, maybe if I want to be optimistic, I know it's tough during these times, but maybe they'll be just as sick of these billionaires as we are. But of course, that's being generous to the Republicans. But don't you think, wouldn't you? I'm not talking about the old guard like a Lindsey Graham or the types that have been in government for years and years. They're never getting out. That's for sure. They love their cushy, phony, baloney jobs.
And what you're saying is, hey, Republicans, forget your constituents, forget your constitutional responsibilities.
You don't got to remind them to do that.
If you don't do what I, Elon Musk, want you to do, you're out of office. And I have the money to do just that. My friends, what we are looking at here has nothing to do with democracy.
That's right.
What we are looking at here is oligarchy.
Yep, he's been saying it.
This is up and up.
Bernie's been talking about this for a long time, but you know what I didn't see when I was watching corporate media today? Not one of the corporate media mouthpieces mentioned that this is an oligarchy. This is not normal. It shouldn't be normalized. But that's what they did. They normalized it. They talked about Elon Musk tweeting, but they didn't mention the lies that he was tweeting as well. Because as soon as he realized, they were going to come to an agreement and pass the bill, he didn't like it because it didn't have this fund or the cap taken off the debt ceiling for 2 years. And the only reason they want to do that, him, President Musk and his traitor Trump bitch, his pet, they want to do that so they could steal more money from the vulnerable, from the people who need it. Social Security, Medicare, anything that doesn't have to do with making the rich richer and the working class, the more malleable working poor. I mean, that's on the chopping block. That's it. They want to suck money out of the nooks and crannies of your life and put it into their own rapacious profits, their own never-ending bottomless pit of greed. It's like, how disgusting. But I didn't hear that at all on the corporate media. None of the corporate media mouthpieces, no matter what channel you watched, none of them mentioned that this is not normal. This is not conducive to democracy. This is, in fact, a sign that money in politics is the root of all evil, and this isn't working. Who elected this freaking sociopath who uses his children as props? You see, he's carrying his tiny son on his back everywhere he goes. Oh, look at me. I'm an actual human. Look at me. I made a human being. Here's a human. See, I'm not a sociopath. I'm a dad, just like you. Except, no, not like you. Unless you're a sociopath too. Something is so sick. Let's continue with Bernie.
Government by the billionaire class for the billionaire class. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Musk is not only trying to intimidate Republicans, he is trying to inject himself into the Democratic Party as well.
Yep.
He is threatening to target Democrats who are standing up to him and his agenda. Further, and very dangerously, and this is the guy who owns Twitter. As part of his campaign to defeat this resolution, Musk has been spreading an enormous amount of disinformation and outright lies about what is in the bill.
Okay, raise your hand if you heard any of that on any other media outlet. I was watching corporate media all day. Not once did any one of them point out the fact that Elon Musk was tweeting lies about what was in the bill. Because he counts on the stupidity of the Stockholm Syndrome suffering dupes who cheer him to believe every vile, filthy lie that comes out of his sociopathic lie hole. I did hear on the corporate media them say how, and then Elon Musk took to Twitter to signal his non-support of the bill or whatever. Okay, let's continue.
He said that the measure would include a 40% pay raise for Congress.
These are the lies.
That's a lie. Yeah. It is a 3.9% increase, the same as federal employees are receiving. He said that this legislation would fund bioweapons labs. Not true. In fact, it provides funds to protect Americans from emerging infectious diseases.
Oh, wow.
He said that the country would be just fine if the government shut down. Really? Here's what happens if Mr. Musk gets his way and the deal implodes. Funding for kids' cancer research gets cut.
Well, that's okay.
At a time when we're already paying the highest price.
All that expense, right? All that expense. They should just die. That's what Trader Trump said to his nephew, whose son has developmental disabilities. Wouldn't it be better if he was dead? What a vile... Where the hell do we live? Aren't these people gross? When will we have enough of them? I wonder. I mean, I've had enough of them before. I didn't have to see much to know that I had enough of them. I've seen all I need to see to know how disgusting they are. But these are really the most disgusting people on the planet. They're all getting together. They see the smash and grab going on in the United States. They want to get in on it. They see the United States, the poor grand experiment in liberal democracy. They see it imploding because of greed, selfishness, and they want in. But that alone, I mean, I'm trying to process it, because how vile must you be that's your mission, You're already a rich asshole. You're already the richest asshole on earth. And that's not enough. You have to you got to kill kids with cancer, too. And, let's not forget that President Man-Child Musk and his bitch trader Trump. Well, Musk himself could end poverty. Well, I got to find it, actually. Let's continue with Bernie. But I think he could end world hunger with, just a couple of billions off the top. I'm going to get the exact stats while we're listening to Bernie.
In the world for prescription drugs, pharmaceutical middlemen will be able to continue to overcharge you for your prescriptions. Americans recovering from devastating floods, fires, and hurricanes, often due to climate change, won't get the help that they need. That's what happens if the proposal goes down. And what happens if the government shuts down? Well, our troops won't get their paychecks. Nearly 7 million women and children who rely on WIC nutrition assistance could go hungry. And 2 million federal government workers, some of whom don't make a whole lot of money, won't be getting paid. Now let us be very clear. Elon Musk was not elected to be president of the United States.
What? Really?
In fact, he was not elected.
He hates the same people I do, though. I think it's cool, the way he jumps in the air with his big fat belly. I think he's great. He hates the woke. He hates woke. Like me. He's not woke. He mocks the woke. This is what bitches these people are. He hates woke. Like me. He hates woke. So I'm gonna slit my own throat. Because I'm not woke either. I hate trans people too. I want to misgender others. I hate immigrants too. What I keep seeing on these conservative websites and like the conservative Reddit, they say things like, well, if we got rid of all these illegals, we could raise Social Security rates. We could raise our Social Security, as if the illegals, we don't have enough for the Americans, the good Americans, because illegals are taking Social Security. I hear this shit. You know why? Because Elon Musk and the Republicans say that shit to them. And they believe it. That's how stupid they are.
Now let us be very clear. Elon Musk was not elected to be president of the United States. In fact, he was not elected to be dog catcher. And by the way, what all of this hoopla is really about, above and beyond everything I'm talking about, is that when Trump and Musk come into power in late January, do you know what their first order of business will be? You think it'll be to fix healthcare? You think it'll be deal with climate change? Deal with homelessness? Well, if you thought that, you're dead wrong. Their first order of business will be to provide massive tax breaks for the wealthiest people in this country and the largest corporations. So think about it.
I'll be right back.
At a time of unprecedented income and wealth inequality when Musk himself is worth almost $500 billion. What these guys want to do is give more tax breaks to billionaires and the heads of large corporations. So where do we go from here? Let us understand the gravity of what we are dealing with. This is not politics as usual. This is not just Democrats versus Republicans, conservatives versus liberals or progressives. It's much deeper than that. What we are dealing with right now is that the billionaire class, which owns so much of our economy, which owns so much of our media, they are now moving aggressively to own our political system as well. So we got a lot of work in front of us.
Right out in the open.
We've got to educate, we've got to organize, and we have got to stop them. Thank you very much. Have a great holiday season.
I'll try. Yeah.
Republicans.
That's the thing. But if it's not called out, it will be considered or treated as if this is normal. And that's what's driving me nuts.